I didn't want to embarrass you, but I'm going to embarrass you because the achievements, all the Emmys, Tonys, Grammys, 7 Golden Globes, Presidential Medal of Freedom. I was reading your achievements and I started to laugh because it's comedically amazing. I'm halfway through the list. Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement. There's a Golden Globe Award named after you. And what's interesting is I get the impression that that doesn't affect you, that you're still Carol Burnett and you're going to give it your all and you still have that humility and cheery optimism, but that it hasn't gone to your head in any way. Because if I had one of those, I'd be an absolute madman.
No, I don't know. I'm just grateful. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about Lucille Ball because obviously growing up, even though the show had long been gone, it was running constantly in reruns. I Love Lucy, and that was the format for the modern sitcom that has endured for 50, 60 years. And I know that she was very kind to you. She saw you as, hey, this kid has something. I like her. How did she reach out to you?
Well,
or how'd you meet her?
I was doing the off-Broadway show called Once Upon a Mattress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we had just opened the night before, and the second night, there was a lot of buzz I could hear in the audience, and Lucy was in the audience the second night. I remember I peeked through the curtain, and I saw this big shock of red hair, and there she was. I was more nervous that night than I was opening night, the night before, because she was in the audience.
Yeah.
Anyway, it went okay, and I had this funky little dressing room off-Broadway. She knocked on the door after the show and came in, and I had this couch and it had a spring coming up. And she was going to say, I said, look out. She said, I see it.
Is it my first rodeo?
Anyway, we visited for about a half hour and she called me kid because she was 22 years older.
Right.
She said, if you ever need me for anything, give me a call. So about 4 or 5 years later, I did a few things, and then CBS was going to give me a special, a 1-hour variety thing, if I could get a major guest star. So the producer said, call Lucy. And I said, I don't want to bother her. He said, well, all she can do is say, I'd love to, but I can't. I'm busy. Got her on the phone, called her office. She came up. Hey, kid, you're doing great. What's happening? I was just... I said, "Oh, Lucy, I know you're busy." She said, "When do you want me?" And we did the show together. So then when I got my variety show, and then I did several guest appearances on her later shows.
Yes.
The Lucille Ball show, and when she played Lucy Carmichael.
That's right.
All
with
of that.
Gail Gordon.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And then when I got my show, she came on. So we kind of traded on and off. And so, oh, wow. This one time, she's on my show, and we have a dinner break before the orchestra rehearsal. So she and I went over to the farmer's market to have a little, so we were in the Chinese restaurant there. And she's knocking back a couple of whiskey sours.
Please tell me it's the morning.
No, it was a nighttime. So,
Okay.
So at that time, of course, my husband, Joe Hamilton, was producing our show. And so she now was not with Desi. She said, kid, it's great that you got Joe, to handle a lot of stuff for you, because when I was married to the Cuban,
like he's a cigar.
She said, he did everything. Desi did everything. Yeah. He took care of the scripts. He took care of the lighting, the camera work. He's the one who invented the 3 cameras.
Yes. Yeah. Genius.
And so she said, when I came into the Monday morning, the table read, everything was perfect because he had seen to it. And all I had to do is be crazy Lucy, fine. So then we got a divorce. Now I'm going to do the Lucy Karma, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And I came in, no Desi, and we read the script, and she said, it was awful. kid, it stank.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, and I thought, oh, God, what am I going to do? Desi's not here. He did it. She called me for lunch, and she said, she went back to her office. She said, I've got to be strong.
Yeah.
I got to confront this the way Desi would have. She said, so I knew what I had to do. Went back to the table read, and I told them in no uncertain terms how I felt about the script, how we had to fix it. She said, kid, and she took another, and that's when they put the S on the end of my last name.
Now, she sent you, I think, flowers every day on your birthday.
On my birthday, and this one birthday, I got up in the morning and turned on the Today Show, and she had passed away on my birthday. And that afternoon, I got flowers that said, happy birthday, kid.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So we had a great bond.